see that match tonight?
Very, very disappointing, particularly our first half performance. We went into the game and we felt that we were prepared. We had a plan how we wanted to play, and I think that was backed up from the previous game against Vissel Kobe, where even though we lost the game, I thought we put a very, very good defensive display in, and we knew that we had to do that tonight. But to do that and defend against a top team like Yokohama and top players, you have to be all willing to work, stick to the game plan, stay connected. And in the first half, we had players who didn't want to do that. So that's why we fell down, and we went into the half-time break 3-0 down.
Yokohama came out firing right off the bat. They scored early and sort of still had 3-0 by half-time. Was there anything that surprised you with how they decided to approach the match?
No, not all. We'd done our work on them. We knew they'd be aggressive. We knew how they played, and like I said, we had a game plan to how to combat that. But when people don't stick to the tasks and are willing to run and stay connected and work for the team, then you fall short against good teams, and that's what we did in the first half.
You mentioned that the players weren't willing to put into that extra work. Was that
Some players.
Was that ultimately down to Yokohama's aggression, or do you think that was almost like they were forced to do that, given how hard it was playing out?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask the players that who I felt didn't run. I don't know. For me, I say all the time, we put a team on the pitch, and a part of our culture is we work for each other. We work for the shirt, we work for the supporters, and we work for the club when we're on the pitch. And that's been our mantra all the time, even before I came here. But it's been my mantra, and the part of the culture of what we do. We work hard for the shirt, and when everybody's not doing that, against lesser teams you might get away with it, but against top teams you don't get away with it. So you've got to be fully committed in everything you do, in every action, every moment of the game. And if you miss a few pieces of the jigsaw and they don't do it, then you lose goals, and that's what happened to us in the first half.
We saw Christian Theoharis back in the team today. What did you make of his cameo and how he's tracking to get back in the team?
I thought all the players who went on the second half and the players who stepped foot on the pitch in the second half worked well. They had a goal, and that's all you can ask. Yes, it was a mountain to climb at 3-0 against that type of team. But one thing I said is we want everybody to run, do the jobs for the team, because that's the most important thing for us, the team, not about individuals. Individuals shine when they're working for the team, simple as that. And I thought second half the players who went onto the pitch and the full 11 worked hard and did that. And Christian was one of them. You know, I was pleased to see him back. He's had a bit of a tough time with injuries and a few little setbacks, but he's been working hard in training. We've been pushing him, and he certainly came on in the second half and showed a desire to work and run and do what we want him to do.
As frustrating as the recent results have been in the competition, do you think in a way that the younger players tasting this type of adversity is going to help them in their development?
Well, I think the young players playing against the calibre of players in the Champions League will do them the world of good, because they see what it takes to play at the top level. And we've come up against some top players and some top individuals. So the young players in the team, if they're not learning that, they're missing a trick. So you look at every young player on the pitch today, and in particular Eames, who went on in the second half, 16 years old, showed courage even to play in a position which is not probably his normal position at the start of the second half as well. But we knew he could make an impact. We knew he would be calm on the ball, and we knew he'd work for the team as well, and he showed that tonight. But like I said, the team that went out in the second half collectively worked how we wanted them to work, but we just didn't have enough to get ourselves back in the game.
And given the difficulty of the AFC Elite this season, how would you compare that to your previous campaign in the AFC Cup? What challenges do you see occur and the difficulty level?
Well, it's a level of teams and players. The individuals, although we come up against some good teams last year, the level of teams in the Champions League is way above where we were competing last year. So competing with that, and like I said before in the press conference, I feel that in games we've played this this year in this campaign. We've had moments in games. And today we didn't. We had a plan where we fully believe that if we'd have stuck to that and started off on a better footing collectively, then we would have been in the game. But we knew we had to be, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 defensively, and then when we have transition moments, because that's where we felt we could hurt Yokohama on transition, when we had those moments we had to be clinical, and that's something we haven't been this year. But like I said, from my point of view, really disappointing. And for one, I've never had to do this, and I say sorry to our supporters because that first half performance wasn't acceptable. But what I will say is that the team who went out in the second half, had a go, and they showed some glimpses. So that I'm pleased with. But yeah, there's a few things I need to address, and the players certainly knew how I felt at half time.
When you go back to that training ground, what was the first area you were going to address? Because the defensive frailties were on display in the first half. Do you think it is having the strongest start in matches?
Sticking to the plan and running, everybody. It's what we're about at the Marinos. We didn't win what we won last year because we had a team full of the best players, and that's no disrespect to our team. We had good players at the end of the year, but we were the best team. We worked together, we worked for each other, we worked for the shirt, we worked for the supporters, we worked for the club, and we put graft in, and we stayed connected, and that's why we had the success. As soon as we start coming away from that, then we'll fall short. So my message to the players will be exactly that. We have to know who we are, what we are, and how we can be successful, and we have to stick to that. And it takes a lot of hard work. It takes fitness, it takes desire, it takes mental strength to be able to run and do that and work for the team and sacrifice yourself sometimes for the team. So that'll be my message when we go back into the training ground, and I expect to see, like I saw in the second half, to some extent, a response quickly.